In a world desperate to tear itself apart, only one man, and some other people, stand in the way of total destruction. Together they will right the wrongs, make bad, good, and single-handedly destroy evil, together. Who is this man, you may ask? This man is Jeff.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Jeff Jones and Friends Make It Better, the show that takes life's little annoyances, makes up a nice big double bed, a bath you can stand in, and a full English breakfast in the morning to quite simply make it better. Today I'm delighted to welcome BBC local presenter and stand-up comedian Sam Fraser. Sam, how are you?
Yeah, I'm really well, Jeff. I'm thrilled to be here. Fresh from a gig myself.
So you're buzzing at the moment, I'm sure.
Totes buzzing.
Totes buzz. Well, thanks. I appreciate that you did kind of do the gig and run back. So I really do appreciate that. So without further ado, what is it that we are making better today?
We're making better SPAG, spelling, punctuation, and grammar. Jeff, with a particular focus on the possessive, which seems to be beyond the wit of your average Brit.
I feel like I say this an awful lot, but my wife and everyone in the house, all at various levels of education, I have the worst grammar in the house and spelling. I just, in general, I say lots of words that mean nothing. I type using far too many, I don't know, commas and dashes and lines. I am the person. So come on, let me have it. What is it I annoy you most about? That annoys you most about this?
I think it's the misuse of the apostrophe. I think the apostrophe is a sort of sad, misunderstood part of grammar. It's either overused or it's not used in the right place. And it's such a straightforward, simple piece of work. I don't know why people find it so hard. And it's this business of the possessive, his, hers, its. I work for the national broadcaster, and I understand that lots of people have struggle with English. They struggle to understand punctuation, and I'm not saying that everybody should be across it, to the nth degree. I'm just saying that people who put it in print in any form should understand it and get it right. So I love my colleagues in the BBC newsroom, but I am absolutely sick of reading scripts where its is the wrong, his, hers, its, none of them takes an apostrophe. It only takes an apostrophe if it's it has or it is. It's a shortening, yeah. So it is not difficult.
Yeah.
It's driving me insane. And then we come, to plurals. What people have gone mad. They want to add an apostrophe S. I've literally just come from a gig, and I'm going to tell you this. The gig was called Laughing Bellies. Laughing Bellies.
Okay.
And it was spelt and publicised BELLY apostrophe S.
Oh, okay.
So I'm now thinking, so maybe Belly runs the bar. Maybe it's Belinda, and this is Laughing Bellies. I love Sam, who runs the gig, although he has actually spelt my name wrong in every bit of publicity for tonight's gig. He spelt Fraser with a Z.
I was going to say, how's he spelt Sam wrong? But right, okay.
And I've been really, really good and discreet. And it was only on the 5th time of seeing it misspelled that I did, on the running order, that I did say, I'm really sorry, but I am actually ready to punch you in the face if you do this one more time. So it's this. I don't understand why the plural is so difficult to grasp. We just put an S on the end, largely, or why the apostrophe is so hard. These are not difficult concepts.
Is it laziness? Because we in the world of Twitter and texting and messaging, and everything's just so quick and instant now. You don't kind of people put enough thought into actually when they're writing, when they actually sit down and think about something. Is that part of it?
Jeff, I just don't know. You're in the same bracket as me. You've got children and their older children, and I don't know you're at a certain age when they say, you're not allowed to use certain social media. Like, so you got to not use TikTok. You can use Facebook, but it's for old people, and you can use WhatsApp, but only if you promise never to use punctuation. Because in the words of my younger son, because like mum, like punctuation's like really passive aggressive. Nobody uses full stops anymore. Because that sends a message, like, that you're ready to hit them, or I don't know, or
It
ghost them.
sends
I
a
don't
message
know.
that the sentence is finished. That's
Well, that's what you think, but that's because you're from a different generation. What it actually
wow.
means is that you have a violent antipathy towards that person, and you wish only ill.
This
So
has
punctuation has
blown my
become
mind.
very political. Yeah, yeah.
That's that has blown my mind because I mean I love throwing an exclamation mark in. So that must be
Love an
worldly.
exclamation mark. Yeah. Or an exclamation point, as they're called in the
Oh,
States.
okay.
Don't start me.
I was doing
Don't
something.
start me.
Here's one then. So my surname is Jones. Is it if we're using possession, Jones apostrophe S or ES? What am I using?
So, well, it's interesting because, well, essentially,
Or
the
neither?
apostrophe always comes after the thing that it belongs to. So, let's say Jeff Jones's cat. So, the cat belongs to Jeff
Hate my
Jones.
cat. Yeah.
I mean, I hate my cat as well.
Hate it.
I'm hoping she's 13 now and she will not
Oh.
die. But so Jeff Jones's hated cat. The cat belongs to Jeff Jones, so the apostrophe comes after the S, and then your possessive S. Yeah, Jeff
Okay.
Jones's cat.
Just seems like a lot
Um,
of S's.
it's a matter of style, really, because for things with the end in S, so Thomas's, you can actually just, as a matter of elegance, leave off the S. So you just
Right.
put the apostrophe after the Thomas.
That was
So
the next
Thomas is
question.
hated.
Yeah, I'm quite
What style?
partial to an apostrophe just after the yes, but I also feel like
Yeah.
it seems quite pretentious. So I just, don't know why. This can come back to
No.
the aggressive full
It's
stop again.
accurate. It's accurate,
It's like,
Jeff. That's what it does is it helps us to understand that the hated cat belongs to you, Jeff Jones.
right. Okay. And the cat also hates me, I'm pretty sure of it. So okay, well, that has cleared up something which I've been wrestling with for almost 40 years. I think so. I'm just gonna leave my pretentious apostrophe at the end. Thing is, right, I'm also someone, whilst having terrible grammar, I am someone who also, I get on my soapbox about, the good old there's and
There,
yeah,
THEY apostrophe RE. They are. People do not seem to understand contraction.
yeah. Oh, I say right, and actually, full disclosure. So the there's I'm okay with. I can get the there's, but it's all the names. Like I am extremely embarrassed to say my 9 year old sits there and I'm like, what are you doing for your homework? I'm studying English. What are you doing? Oh, I'm doing adverbs
Fronted
and nouns.
adverbials.
And yes, and I'm like, okay. Do you need any help? Please say no. Please say no. Please say no. Please say no. No, don't worry, Dad. I got it. 9 years old, and I'm like, I have no idea. Yeah, what a fractured thingy what's it is, and it's terrible, and it's just because I've got a good job, and I say lots of words. It's in the medical kind of community, but I don't need to know what it is. I just do it. But I suppose at least I can put an
Don't
apostrophe.
you?
No,
I think this all stems from British arrogance. See, I think that we don't teach ourselves about language enough. A lot of my grammar, my understanding of grammar comes because I studied languages, other languages. I think we're just like, oh, well, everybody speaks English. So fuck it. We'll just, hey, let's litter our sentences with misplaced apostrophes. But so I think that there's a big issue about how we teach it in school, and that fronted adverbial nonsense is part of it.
whoa,
It's
what's a fronted adverbial?
it's something that they made. It's something that Michael Gove made up when he was education secretary. Because essentially, what we've got, Jeff, is a Victorian education system that suits
Yeah,
Michael Gove. It's not fit for purpose. It's so backward looking. In Rwanda, if you go to school in Rwanda, every child is handed a device, like on their first day of school. And in the UK, we're still cutting out worksheets and sticking them in exercise
Yeah,
books. Trees are dying. The Amazon is being
for
cut down to be
handouts,
stuck in a year 6 book.
teachers.
Oh, it's a
That's,
nightmare. Never to be looked at again.
and the Pritt stick plant is just in
Oh,
decimation at the moment. It is.
thank God we've moved on from copy decks and dead horse glue.
Do you know, my wife just hours and hours just laminating. I don't get my she absolutely
It's
loves laminating.
2023.
Yeah, why they say it's that even back in my day, yeah, it was yeah, you stick this work in the front of this book, and then as you go, and then the book gets bigger and bigger as you go because you're attaching paper to paper for starters. And half of it, the teachers are by themselves, and I don't want to get kind of political because I do have quite on the education system, like on the English itself, right? And this is so I have to say this now. So, and I get it's not a popular thing, but in schools you have to learn about Shakespeare, who he was, the importance of Shakespeare and his work, and the 7 story types, etc. It should not form exams because kids have to learn another language
There
to be able to
shouldn't be
pass
any
it.
exams. One way we'll make everything better is by getting rid of exams. What does that mean? Chat GPT is going to change education anyway. What we need to do is make people understand they need critical thinking skills now. They need to understand how to communicate effectively, and that does mean, I'm afraid, finding out where the apostrophe goes. But it also means how to work out who's lying to you at any one point, so that we can avoid further incidences of mass political self-harm.
Oh, I love this. This is great because critical thinking and emotional intelligence, the two cornerstones of actual learning, actual growing up, and actual being a human being. Really, which is, I say, it's taught in schools. It's taught you're taught how to pass an exam, not the importance
that's not education.
of things. It's not the teacher's fault. It's not the teacher's fault whatsoever. Before my wife hears this,
bleak landscape that's it's so unimaginative, and it's so not fit for the 21st century. We're expecting children to go out into the world of employment. They're all going to be sitting in front of a screen. Nobody needs to absorb huge amounts of information and regurgitate it. Nobody needs to, multiple test, what they called multiple guess, what was that, multiple choice questions. They exist because you can put them through an examination, an automated examination system, so that it doesn't cost anything to mark the bloody paper. It's all about reducing education to something that's easily quantifiable and measurable to satisfy government tests. I didn't realize it felt quite like this. It's all coming out now. But yeah, that's not education. You mentioned Shakespeare. Shakespeare should be taught in schools because Shakespeare has got something to say to absolutely everybody.
Yes.
But it's not going to be said in a classroom where you're manacled to a desk, taught by a teacher who doesn't understand how to speak verse.
Yes.
What we should have theatre. Kids should be going to the theatre. They should be bringing the theatre into schools where it can't. TIE has practically died under the last 2 conservative governments, and I know that you don't like, we're not supposed to mention politics, but there's been no money for the sorts of cultural input that all of our kids deserve. And what somebody who can teach you Shakespeare well will open your eyes to huge worlds.
I can't agree more. And you're right. I mean, I always kind of harp on. I say I always harp on. So this in personal life, when I don't know, maybe 2 glasses of wine in, and like I say, my wife works in the education system, so I hear the good, the bad, and the ugly, and so I just spill my opinions onto everyone. I don't know if it's like it means anything, but we do have, in my personal opinion, we have a system where kids are taught to pass tests, and the ones that can remember things or enough things are going to do well, but it is all just designed to stop enough kids from passing, and so there's other jobs that are filled because they then think that their life's over, even though the government also say, well, no, because we want everyone to have GCSEs. I went back to college as an adult a few years back and did what they class as an equivalent to a C level in English. I'd say it's not an equivalent, but it ticks the box. So the government can say that we've upskilled the nation. And it's purely because when I was doing my GCSEs, I discovered girls. That's yeah.
I
And then I
fucked
punished.
up my A levels because
Yeah.
I discovered that the back seat of my Fiat Panda folded completely flat, and that there was a really dark corner in the car park of the Fountain's Head. That's what wrecked my. That's why I didn't get my Oxbridge place, Jeff.
That's it. That's it's down
How
to
could I
that
tell
life
my
change.
parents that, right? Epic fail.
Oh, I know. But you know what's also funny is this. So yeah, I messed up my exam. I mean, I did all right. You know, I was lucky that I could kind of bullshit myself through enough things that are okay. But the big ones, the maths and the English, just fell a little bit short. That's fine. I wanted to be a car mechanic anyway, so went to college. Yeah, have my interview with the big old scary guy and my dad, the big old scary guy. They said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "Well, I want to be a car mechanic. You know, I'm not a classroom environment kind of person. I'm gonna get out, show me how to do something, and I can do it." That's how I learn. Well, you didn't get maths and English, so you got to retake that. And we don't think that car mechanics is for you. Like, oh, there you go. So I lasted about 3 months in college, discovered more girls.
Oh, but
And
you had a busy time, Jeff.
wow, you know, you don't get kids at 17, 18 years old by messing about with school, you know. Sure. But
You were doing practical biology.
I was. I very, very much was. Uh, never, I'm a good student. No, right, but maybe, but you know, I don't know where the apostrophe goes. So, so, so
But
that's biting me in the ass.
but you know, the point is that you're not working necessarily in a world where you need to know the way you're not putting it out there. I'm talking about adverts. There was an advert for Ford. It said, "Book your Ford I can't remember, motorcraft service this spring and keep your Ford performing at its best." IT''S. I mean, somebody was paid to do that. You know, there are people who are being paid who are not doing the job. In Dorchester, which is a town that I knew very well because I'm, you know, based in Dorset, for many, many years, on a back of a building in Trinity Street, there was a sign and it said Bob's Taxis, and it was BOBS, no apostrophe, TAXI''S. You know, and I'm thinking somebody was paid to make that sign. Somebody has embarrassed Bob and made Bob look like a total fuckwit because, and I'm not saying it's not Bob, you know, Bob's the taxi driver. You know, he doesn't need to know about apostrophes. I'm sure that Bob is a fucking brilliant ride, you know, but it wasn't down to him to get the apostrophe in the right place. And it's just, I mean, it's so typical. I think they call it the grocer's apostrophe or something. It's the one that always appears when it should be a plural. Just, you know, they shove it in. Tomatoes. Tomato apostrophe S.
Just thumbing in an apostrophe at any moment. Oh dearie me, my face is hurting. But it's just because, and you're right. Someone, yeah, the amount of editing and things that go through. The thing is, there's most about it is there's Google, and search engines. Just to touch back on the education front, we don't need to learn anything now as long as we're pointed in the right direction. Is it because it's there, and you can. There's free things online to write in a sentence, and it will check your grammar for you. And if I'm paying
Jeff,
someone,
what this says to me, if you don't check it, how much respect have you got for your audience, the person that's reading it? None. just put it through the spell check. See what comes out.
It's yeah, or otherwise you've got what two Bobs with with one
I
taxi.
mean, I'm desperate to meet Bob. You know, I want to shake him by the hand and say that was a landmark for me. And the disappointment I felt recently when I went back and saw it had been replaced with something that actually made sense.
Oh, he's obviously received
Uh,
enough comments
Death
from
threats.
punters. Death threats just from you. Just send a weekly letter.
I did read an article a while ago about a bloke who was going around Bristol correcting signage that had the apostrophes in. He was called the apostrophizer. And I was like, God, I want to meet this guy. He's totally,
Yeah.
put him in a flight suit and a helmet, and he's my ideal man.
Plus, yeah,
I've got a
I,
big
I
thing for
I saw
aviation.
the same thing. And, yeah, he's doing a service. Some people have called it graffiti, but no, he's doing a service. I tell
Yeah,
you,
absolutely.
my wife won't let me get away with it. So I love Dorchester. Absolutely love all that kind of stretch. Devon, Dorset, Cornwall, just everything. But do love Dorchester. Spent quite a lot of time there, going to the market, etc. But because King Charles, when he was a mere prince, he kind of built the town just outside
Poundbury, yeah.
Poundbury, and for years me and the family on our treks from Portsmouth to Dorset and beyond, just called it Fake Town because
Yeah.
we never went there until I once had a business meeting there, and it's like I don't know what Stepford Wives, and yeah, it's like the kind of place where if you did kind of misplace an apostrophe, they you would never be seen again.
Yeah. No, that's it. You'd be in the tower.
Being the
It's,
tower.
it's the sort of place that you want to go and shake out like hypodermic needles and say, look, this is make this look more real.
Yeah, it is. It is that kind of like cars go in and or someone going just to have a look around or because they get lost. They're looking for directions and they're just never quite the same again. What's that? Oh, the old show, League of Gentlemen, is it? Yeah, this is a local
Yeah, League
shop
of
for local
Gentlemen.
people. That kind of stuff. But yes,
This is a
so
local, very overpriced shop
yes,
for extraordinarily wealthy local people.
yeah, great place though. Everyone should visit. Maybe that's it. Maybe we missed a trick. We should actually just instead of trying to make things better, just do like a tourism show.
Let's we'll level it down. Let's stop this leveling up malarkey.
Yeah,
Level it down.
that's it. Do you want to go and pay £27 for a burger? Then hey, go to
Yeah.
Poundbury. Although it does
Ketchup's
sound
organic though.
the ketchup. Oh, yeah, it's just because someone just comes and throws a tomato at your plate. But also, I mean, it's called Poundbury. That's in itself is too close to Poundland, isn't it? So you kind of think, I
Yeah,
know, you'd
it
be able to find
is.
a cheap room and a cheaper date there, but
It
you
should have
can't.
been Sovereignbury or something.
Poundbury.
Groatbury.
Groatbury. What's
I was thinking of groat. That was an old English currency, wasn't it? The groat.
I was going to say you're the first person to think of a groat in the guy's sentence.
It's just come to me. She had him by the groats.
Groatbury, isn't it? Was it Groatbury for your organic tomato sauce? Oh man, so slight tangent.
But how we got there? How did we get there? Oh, we were talking
Um,
about Dorchester and
oh
Bob's
yeah,
taxis.
you
And I
happen
was
to
saying, sure,
mention
Bob was a great ride.
that's it. I bet he went to Poundbury. Do you know what happened? Bob went to Poundbury.
Yeah.
They all laughed him out. There, they said, "Mate, your sign is shit." And the next thing you know, it's changed.
I think he just breathed in some grammar. I think he just breathed it in, absorbs
Well,
all that knowledge.
yeah, and everyone's there is either an alien or a robot. So, no, and I'm convinced, and you will never tell me otherwise. And do you know what? To anyone listening to this outside of Dorchester or my wife will have no idea what we're talking about. But it's that place, and everyone knows someone that's that place. It just popped up out of nowhere, and it's just different. It
Yeah.
doesn't quite
No,
sit
it
well.
is. It is like Disney, isn't it? It's like Disney Dorchester.
Yeah, you expect to see some probably two young female dancing in the street, having definitely two old men
Yeah.
singing along about, this and that before she's whisked away. And I don't know this. That's another conversation.
Jeff, you'll be abducted by Mickey Mouse
Yeah,
in Disney Dorchester.
that's Disney Dorchester. So we, so grammar. So there's just maybe the biggest side step this has taken. So I do apologise if I hear the words Dorchester. I get a red flag about Groatbury, and and I have to tell everyone in the world just what the place is like. But so what we have is, I mean, grammar as a whole, I think, is being lost anyway. So
Yeah.
it's like you say, with the messages, as soon as text messaging became for the
Yeah.
young, and everyone could get a mobile phone, and even with, especially with iPhones, where it's just pointing, it's not even buttons, you don't even click anymore unless you want sound effects for clicking, and it's fast. And my kids, like,
Yeah.
before I've hit send on a message, my kids have replied.
I know. How did they do it? Because if I'm doing it, I'm just doing it with one digit, and they're all over it with several digits. I've noticed. How do they do that?
I don't know. And also, it's really annoying because they all wear AirPods now,
Yeah.
and they start laughing. And I thought my daughter, my 18-year-old daughter, I thought she was seriously just going insane.
Yeah.
For
You just have to say, who are you laughing at? What are you laughing
Yeah,
at? Having entirely separate parallel life
yeah,
in your sitting room. Yeah.
that's it. It's like you're
I know.
hit. We're watching Silent Witness. That wasn't funny. That bit definitely wasn't funny. Why are you laughing?
Definitely
Dad,
not
what
funny.
are you talking to me, Dad? What? So it's technology's to blame.
I would love Silent Witness, but I love it for Amelia Fox's knitwear largely. Because I think some of the writing's gone really downhill, but the wardrobe is
In it
consistent.
where I did read an article actually that they were cutting the budget on the writers, but they were reinvesting it in
In the
knitwear.
wardrobe, in
Yeah,
costume.
so knitwear specifically. None of them wear trousers. That's why you only see them from the top up.
Oh, I'm gonna pay more attention. I like it when they don't wear trousers.
That's my favourite shows. I watch a lot of swimming. Um,
But you were
uh,
talking about, this being something that belongs to young people. So yesterday I was in the BBC studio. We were doing our 6 o'clock, well, 6:30 South Today show, and looking at the auto cue, and it was an item on Giles Brandreth's jumpers collection, which he is exhibiting in Petersfield. I know, right? I know.
so
You
say the
see, you couldn't
sentence
write
again.
this. You could not write this. This is our final item, light item. It's about Giles Brandreth's old novelty jumpers that he used to wear through the 80s and 90s before he became an MP. So if you
Right.
remember, he had a big collection of jumpers, and they're
I
going on display. He's exhibiting them. Who would put their fashion faux pas on display? But obviously, we're just not thinking about making money out of our lives,
where's
carefully enough, because he is. But
where's it going on show?
think it's Petersfield. I wasn't
Oh,
paying
that
that much
explains it.
attention.
It does
I
explain
wasn't
it.
paying that much attention, Jeff. And the reason I wasn't paying enough attention was because I was looking at the auto cue, and the auto cue said, now to a person whose jumper collection. Now, the
No.
whose, it should have been whose, WHOWHOSE, whose,
Yeah.
because that's the whose that means belonging to. This was WHO apostrophe S, which is either who is,
Even I know that.
or who has, who's been here or who's here, you know. And I was just so distracted by that. I couldn't enjoy the item about Giles's jumpers.
And
And I was just sitting there
I
thinking
bet it was a
again,
riveting set.
funnily enough, there was a jumper that said "I'm a luxury," and I was thinking, actually, if I was going to wear any of Giles's jumpers, that's the one I'd go for. But I don't think they're for sale. They're only for display purposes only. Anyway, I think it'd be slightly soiled.
Slightly so. The jumper which says "I'm a luxury" just has a few stains on it. Poor old Giles. Well, I'll be saving up some money and going to Petersfield and giving that a whirl. There's nothing else to do in Petersfield apart from a nice lake.
I've never
So
been to Petersfield.
it's a nice lake. And the only other thing I know about it is that there's a walking clinic which is quicker than the one at Portsmouth. That's
A
the
walk-in clinic.
as in
Walk.
like a walk-in hospital clinic, for
Okay.
small because I
Small
apparently
injuries.
yeah, I live in a bit kind of in the middle, so I go to either, you see. So not bragging, but I can go to Portsmouth or Petersfield. So it's a postcode lottery, I
Darling,
get it.
I can go to the Royal Bournemouth. So, any of my injuries are by royal appointment.
The Royal Bournemouth. Ah, it's nice. It's
Royal
nice. It's one of my favourite hospitals of the South Coast. So this is the next segment, but I didn't tell you about this. So we do visit a bit of tourism, and also my favourite hospitals. Royal Bournemouth is number 6 on the list of UK, but number 2 across the south. So
What about
you
Dorchester County Hospital? Because when I gave birth in the Dorchester County Hospital, the Queen actually visited. So beat
visited
that.
you?
Well, no, I was a bit
Oh,
puffed out. I was like, if you haven't got any positive advice to offer at this stage, I'm not interested. I'm
you went.
only here for the people who are bringing me Jacob's crackers.
Yeah. If you haven't got any jelly babies, we don't. I don't care about your
No,
hats,
no, no.
Queenie.
I don't know what
Uh,
she carries in her handbag.
God
Nothing for
bless it.
me.
So definitely those kind of hard gum sweets.
Oh yeah. Do you think?
Yeah, like
I mean,
the
her
travel
teeth
ones
were
you get.
quite old by the end. Would she
Uh,
manage?
Probably went her own.
Do you think? I think
Actually,
they probably were.
no, she just. I know for a fact that she borrowed the helps when she for official.
And there she was. She
Dorothy,
died of
give me your teeth. I'm expecting company.
ill-fitting dentures. Oh my God, could you imagine the indignity?
Her final words. God rest her soul. I love the Queen. God rest her soul. Her
Her
final.
final words, nobody could understand them because the dentures weren't hers.
God, my teeth. They're very just. I shouldn't speak. People are going to complain.
We shouldn't
By
speak ill of
people,
the
I
dead,
mean my
no.
wife. My wife and my mum are going to be the first critics. They're going to give me my first 1 star for this for this podcast now because I've been talking about the
Can
Queen's
only
teeth.
apologise.
But yeah, I'm sorry. They're great. Yeah, I mean Dorchester. No, I mean Dorchester only kind of got a cardless. A coinless kind of parking system like a few years ago. Like, I mean, come on, it's kind of 2020. I don't know, well, probably
Because
2020 actually. Just pre-pandemic, they were still using coins to pay for parking. I mean, come on, get
well,
with the times.
people on Poundbury are not happy to give up their groats. They're still carrying them around. Sovereigns and groats in our car parks, love.
That's it. We only pay with organic tomato sauce. Uh, so right, this has been a bit of a wild ride. Okay, but so the only reason I allow people to come on to beg, you were begging me to come on here. I said fine, fine. I said, but only if stop laughing. You give the game away. But if we talk about in very serious and great detail about the possession, about apostrophes, about grammar. But how do we make it better? How do we make the situation better?
Well, obviously, the first thing to do would be to put me in charge of UK education
Mm-hmm.
so that I could abolish exams and make much more interesting ways of learning and that sort of thing. But I thought there was some really straightforward things that we could do because I've often, as I've sat at the BBC, thought what I'd really like to do is just take all my colleagues downstairs into hospitality and just say, have a drink. I'm just going to talk you through his, hers, its,
Yeah.
who's, there. So I'd be happy to do pop-up sessions in your workplace anywhere. And then I was thinking, well, maybe there are other opportunities. When you go to the optician, instead of just reading random letters, just let them, let's put some apostrophes in there and explain
That's genius.
why they sit there. Yeah. And then I was thinking, what about the supermarkets? If you pick up a product that is, say, Fry's Turkish Delight or Cadbury's, if you can put the apostrophe in the right place, or even just articulate why the apostrophe is there, you get it for free.
Yeah.
You can walk out of the shop with that product because
Free.
you understand that product. Yeah. So I think there's loads of, casual ways that we can make this happen.
Yeah, just subliminally. I love the eye test idea. Just say, right, read all these letters. Now read the sentence and what does it mean? And like when they've got that giant thing over their eyes, if they get it wrong, so they just get a little, I don't know, like a little pin in their eyes or something.
Yes. Blind them in one eye, Jeff.
That's it. If you can't do it, you get blinded.
You don't deserve to see.
Well, I do also like, so if we do go down and putting you in charge as Minister of Education, can I be the Minister of Jumpers and tourism? I'll be the Minister of Tourism.
Oh, I was going to say soiled sweaters. I could see you heading up that department with some kind of a style and aplomb.
I will make sure every city and town in this, not villages, but every city and town in this country has got a soiled sweater museum.
Exhibition space.
For
not just Giles Brandreth. Let's make this inclusive.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want everyone. I want everyone in there. The older the better. Just come in and spill something down yourself.
What we want is the smell of ancient acrylic, that's caught lots of the smells of a lifetime.
Yes, that the smell. So every time someone walks past you and you smell it and it's not nice, and you don't know what it is, but you're like, I like, that reminds me of existence. Oh, it's something old exists.
Of people in warm day rooms. Yeah.
Hanging up their sweaters. I'd say, but my favorite though, and I think the one we have to choose is just putting it into existence. Free food for finding for putting the apostrophe in the right place. It's expanding it out to games. So instead of having pin the tail on the donkey, pin the apostrophe on the word.
Genius.
Just little things in day-to-day life that you get rewarded for.
Yeah, absolutely. Care about the apostrophe. I think so. This is a brilliant idea. Every workplace, forget the dartboard. The apostrophe board is where it's at.
And every company also has to have an 8-hour mandated session with you, just coming in and discussing it.
Oh my God, I'm so up for that. Totally up for that.
I mean, maybe we just start our own political party. I'm pretty sure we'd win.
And the first rule will be you do not have to speak the language of the examiner. Let's have a system that works for all.
That's
not just people good at exams.
Type it into Google and let it translate it for you, because that's all the world will be soon anyway. Hey,
absolutely.
If you can't pass an exam with a maths exam that desires you not to use a calculator, don't worry, because on your phone you'll have a calculator for the rest of your life.
Why do I need a teacher when I've got Google?
Exactly. Although can't really leave it on that note.
No, it's important that the teacher facilitates your understanding of how to use the internet.
Teachers teach Google, and that's it. Like, if you need to work out a sum, type it in words in Google, but the teacher teaches how to do that. Thank you, Sam. That was so much fun. I feel like we've made large portions of the world better, not just grammar. But please tell me, what are you working on at the moment? Where can we find you? What is going on in the world of Sam Fraser with an S, not a Z?
Well, I mean, I'm doing little gigs here, there, and everywhere, so you can catch me. I mean, sometimes I'm sufficiently organised to put them on my website, samfraser.co.uk. But you can always find me on Twitter at Sam Wessex Girl. Do you like what I did there? I was born in Essex, but I moved to Wessex. It seemed like a good idea at the time. That's the thing about your Twitter identity. It's with you forever. So yeah, at Sam Wessex Girl on Twitter. Just I'll be around.
That's it. You've still got what a love unicorn at hotmail.com email address.
I've got several email addresses, from like when do you remember when Friends Reunited came out?
Yeah.
Just like stalk old boyfriends and things by creating. I mean, I think I'm giving too much about my past life away here. By creating personas with particular email addresses. Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
Catfishing is now called, which everyone's done a bit of in the past, but now there's a word for it and it's negative, so I stopped doing it.
Yeah, but it's not, given how we feel about cats, Jeff, I don't mind that.
That is true, actually. Maybe I want to be a catfisher, because would that be fishing for cats or using a cat as bait for maybe a larger cat or animal?
I'm very willing to offer my really grumpy aging cat as bait for anything. No, that's not fair. That's awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's looking at me as well here. She's looking at me saying, why are you always saying horrible things about me? And I'm like, the reason I'm always saying horrible things about you is because you keep shitting in the hall. This is it. Anyone who does that, you're going to fall out of love with eventually.
Definitely. Usually way past the end of the episode now, but I do feel like moaning about cats is a subject for all time. And I was very adamant. So we lost our cat Christmas kind of over COVID, actually. And we were all very sad. I was insensitive for cancelling the pet insurance too quickly. Not quite sure. I don't know how. I mean, I'm not paying for something when I wouldn't pay for a car if I like the car insurance, would I? But no, it's insensitive because apparently I should have waited. That's fine. And I was like, well, I don't want another cat. Don't want another cat. All of a sudden, I'm being told we're getting this cat. And it's a little kitten. It's a fresh kitten. And I work from home. No one else is in the house. So I'm dealing with this. And also a dog with PTSD. So like an 8-week-old kitten who's the most annoying little thing, just trying to get into everything. Up the curtains, here sitting on my shoulder. I'm on a Zoom meetings with work, and literally this little head pops up on my shoulder,
undermining your credibility all the time. I know.
That's it. That's it. Basically, trying to learn the ins and outs so it can take my job, no doubt. I've got a dog who's a Romanian rescue who has PTSD and is just needy and angry and aggressive. And because I work from home, I get to enjoy both of them non-stop all day. Every day. And
did you mean enjoy? Did you mean endure?
Endure, yes. I definitely endure. And the worst thing, I have to walk the dog, and I used to like it, but now I have to go at 5 o'clock in the morning because he doesn't like human beings. I moan with the cat. We had to lock the cat in the room, so with all the stuff in there. But just so she's asleep at 4 o'clock in the morning, she pushes the door, dang, 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 dang. And now I've just gone right. There's no stopping me now. Right, Sam, I'm gonna let you go. Essentially, if there were no dogs and cats in the world, apart from other people's dogs and cats, the world would be a better place. But
I agree.
Sam, thank you so much. I've had an awful lot of fun. I must be tired and grumpy because I've allowed far too much cat and dog talk. But we'll put everything in the bio and all the links and everything in the bio for the episode. And thank you so much. We had so much fun. And all there is for me to say now is thank you everyone for listening. And it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from Sam. Say goodbye, Sam.
Goodbye. Thanks for having me, Jeff. I can't believe I'm actually waving. No one can hear a wave.
Thank you. Goodbye.